And the rain just coming and going, coming down in sheets when it does come down. The temperature on the field is going to be about 42 degrees. The wind is going to be coming out of the north, which is to your right, and it's going to be blowing at about 20, 25 miles an hour. The field, as you can see, is really a mud bowl. There's going to be very little room except for the far side of the field. And that's what it's going to be. The toss was won by Cleveland Heights. They've elected to receive. Lakewood will kick off. Lakewood, of course, defending the north goal. In the yellow and black of Cleveland Heights, the Tigers will be receiving. Back deep, you see Brian Bullock and Mike Randall, and Mike Mitchell kicks it off. Short kick. And this is Bullock. The defense couldn't seem to get their footing, and Bullock was able to get all the way out to the 35, 37-yard line. Correction, that was Mayer on the tackle. The Cleveland Heights backfield is got Weingart is going to be at quarterback. Scott will be the wing back. Clifton Gamble, the two-way performer, is going to be at fullback, and Brian Skipworth, number 34, their tailback, and he is a good one if he can get some footing. The pitch back goes to Skipworth, and he gets across the 45, still on his feet, and gets close to midfield. We said it was going to be treacherous and footing, and that would be a handicap to Skipworth, the senior. But the far side of the field is probably the driest place on the field, and so he was able to get some footing and picked up good yardage of first down in the first carry. The front line for Cleveland Heights has got some good ones. Calhoun and Bullock will be the ends. They're averaging about 205 from tackle to tackle, and they're all experienced, all seniors. And again, good running room. Massimiani and Norman, the two linebackers, in on that stop. Ball carry again was Brian Skipworth. And there's the front three, Miller, Crotty, and Price. And they're going to go to the 3-4, and they've got some great linebackers, as we mentioned, Massimiani, Norman, Kavesdi, and Dubois. And the Ranger will be Rick Benno, Mazzio, and Kime, and Tate are going to be in the secondary. And they're good ones if they ever put the ball in the air, which is doubtful. That was a 2-yard gain. It will be a 2nd and 8. This goes to the big fullback, Clifton Gamble, straight up the middle. And that's where most of the ball carrying is going to be. Miller, along with the Bull, the linebacker, in on that stop.
Mike, I would think so. With Gamble, they have a fullback at 180 pounds. He'll be moving up there. The field where they're at to their offensive left is pretty good footing. If they try to cross over to the right, that's where they'll run into their problems.
That was a 1-yard pickup. That'll make it 3rd and 7. The ball is sitting on Lakewood's 46.5. Yeah, they're giving that one, I think, to Hashish Scott. He gets inside the 45 all the way to about the 43 where Massimiani is in on the stop, and that was Skipworth. And Skipworth, it's his 3rd carry. In with the play is Maurice Herford, the left guard. He replaces Dwayne Morris. 4th and 2 now, and they're going to go for it on this field. And they're going to go to full house backfield again as the senior Lee Weingart. And that could be a delay of game or an 5-yard infraction for a offsides. So Lakewood gets the first flag of the game.
You wonder if they came up with some kind of
ball foul. Defense, offside.
Trying to draw it offside. Apparently they did. It is a first down.
Yeah, Weingart was the happiest guy on the field. It's almost a wishbone formation now for Cleveland Heights. Weingart hands off to his fullback. This is Clifton Gamble, and he pounds inside the 35. Officials are going to spot it at the 32 on the stop. Crotty. Steve Crotty, 5'8", 194-pound junior. That was a 5-yard pickup for Gamble. That makes it a 2nd and 5. 3 minutes gone, first quarter. Kickoff went to Cleveland Heights. Pitch back goes to Skipworth. And he gets inside the 30. They'll probably spot it maybe at the 28-yard line. Paul Norman, the middle linebacker, brought him down, and they're going to bring out the chains. A sustained drive, kickoff taken by Cleveland Heights. They started this drive on their own 37. That one flag gave Heights a first down on that offsides, and they've been able to keep it on the ground and picking up good yardage.
A couple of things now as their chains are coming all the way across the field for the measurement. You're going up behind Hereford, Ryan, Reddick, the three men in the middle, and they've been doing most of the blocking for Cleveland Heights. The Tigers have been moving down with that ball. The snap from Ryan to quarterback Lee Weingart been very good. Good ball handling on the play. They're just that short, as you can see. The official in there making the call.
Clock is stopped with 8:18 remaining. First quarter. Wind starting to kick up again, and that sheets of rain just blowing across the field. Maybe not helping the conditions. So we'll have a third, and you saw the distance, about the length of the football. Again, the running backs will be Scott 20, Gamble 43, Skip with 34. Give it to Gamble right up the middle. He gets the call. He gets the first down. And he gets inside the 25, but a flag. And it's going to be against Cleveland Heights, it appears. Yes, it is.
Procedure call on the play. They blew the whistle. It was really a dead ball. They had to play off just as the official threw the flag. Hey, we should be able to see it here now. The movement in the line, the quarterback on the count.
Foul.
You can see him go down on the left side of the offensive line coming through. Now the tackle was made there, but the call had already been made.
That'll bring it back to the 32, and that'll make it a 3rd and 6. Cleveland Heights, the Tigers. So, Weingart! They were blitzing on that with Massimiani, the leading tackler, and he came charging through. He timed that perfectly, and as Weingart turned around, there was Massimiani right on him. That'll bring up a punting situation. Mike Bauman will be standing at the 50. He's going to be kicking to Starkovic and Joe Garreau. Garreau missed 3 games, had an injury, but he's that high kick, but it's going to be very far. And it takes the Lakewood bounce, and it's going to die at about the 30. That was a net kick of 6 yards. Now, if you gave him the height, he'd be almost the length of the football. It went real high, but the wind caught it up there. The wind is coming from the north, and he was kicking right into it and stopped the ball and brought it right down. So the Lakewood backfield is really an academic All-American backfield. All honor students led by Graham, Antonio the flanker, Craddock the big fullback, and Larry Bisnick will be the tailback. And no yardage on that one. The offensive line, Ed August, good receive along with Starkovic, and they are good inside. Ramalli and Mayer, the unbalanced line, Gobble, Venice. This is in motion, is Antonio. Graham lets it go in and out of the hands of the tailback, Larry Visnick. Howard is there defending, but just on slightly behind, as you saw, against and they've got good quickness. Gamble, of course, one of the other is Chuck Story, the secondary. Craddock, and no gain on it. And Clifton Gamble, the leading tackler for the Tigers of Cleveland Heights, in on that stop. So it's going to be 3 and punting for the Rangers of Lakewood, and Mike Mitchell will be doing the punting. Back will be Skipwith and Bullock. good float kick. It's going to get good yardage. It'll take a roll over the head, and it's going to dive right at the 5. What a magnificent kick by Mike Mitchell. He's been averaging about 31 yards per kick, but that one was 65, and there's a flag down.
There's a flag down on the field back on about the 34-yard line. Officials will talk it over. They have a long way to go to confer with the referee, Tom Hofford. He really got rid of that when there was pressure put on there by the defensive line of Cleveland Heights. They came down and looked like they were almost ready to block it, but with that, he got it off a good punt, and with that roll, it's down there, but let's see what the penalty is.
12 men in the field, apparently, with a signal, and it's going to be called against the Tigers of Cleveland Heights. There's your punter, Mike Mitchell. That's a punts 4 times. He does all the kicking. He kicks off, and he's had 2 of 6 field goals, 1 of 37 against West Tech, and 1 of 32 against Normandy. And he's 26 of 32 extra points. So fine kicker, and that's 65-yard punt. Very wisely keeping it low so it couldn't get up in the wind, and they got a ton out of it. Clock showing 5:43 remaining. First quarter, no score. At stake, the LAL championship, and apparently it is not going to be against Cleveland Heights.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, too. They'll get a first down,
won't they? First down on the
right.
On the play. There are 12 men on the field, a 15-yard penalty to get a first down. That's one they had to talk over. Is your offense going to be able to compensate for such a long kick like that? You had the ball back in there deep. It took a long time for the captain of Lakewood to make sure, but they want that ball.
12 men on the field. First down.
First down. That's the important thing. They feel they can go with that ball, led by quarterback Ed Graham.
And they've got Visnick now, the tailback, wide here to the far side with a single set running back, and now a flag again, and that looks like it's going to be against Cleveland Heights for encroachment. No, I was wrong.
Yeah, there was encroachment, but apparently it was caused by the procedure of the Ranger Ball Club.
Get ball foul. Offense. Ball start over here.
There's an awful lot of flags here.
Get ball foul.
About 6.5 minutes gone in the first quarter. In motion comes Antonio. Bullock, the fullback. He's got an opening. Look at him move those legs, and he gets all the way to the 43-yard line. And finally, one of the cornerbacks, Mike Randall, brought him down. But those legs never stop moving.
Okay, they're out in a wide set on the offense, and you can see the quarterback is just getting off to his fullback, Dave Craddock, going to the right side. That's where he likes to run, behind that right side on the short side of the field. And then he gets a little bit on his own. Number 34 moves up. Nice move back to the inside to get another first down.
Back to live action again. Antonio comes in motion and lets it fly. He's got a man open. Just missed him. Ed August, the intended receiver. And he took a flying dive for it, but just a little out of his reach. And another flag. I don't know, the official called it against Lakewood. And Ed Graham, the quarterback, was indicating it was against Cleveland Heights. But they're talking to the captain, Mike Randall, for Cleveland Heights. So apparently it's going to be against the Rangers of Lakewood.
Like on that last offensive play, it was the same set that they had with Dave Craddock, with a man in motion, a one-back offense. Fake to Craddock that time. They had August just going over the middle on the pass. Graham was off balance.
Offensive pass interference on the offense, plus a loss of down.
The offensive pass interference on that play, and with that, of course, the loss of down.
Well, the most effective weapon so far has been Craddock. He's carried it twice, 17 yards.
Change the scoreboard. It is second down.
Yep, 2nd and 25. There we are. Line of scrimmage is the 43. Again, single setback. And the bootleg. Uses footing, gets it away. And I think he just threw it away. Either that or he wanted Visnick to cut into the middle of the field. He just lost his footing.
I think you hit it right in the head, Mike, with the footing, first of all, by the quarterback as he was coming out just as he went on a bootleg. Remember, a bootleg is your head is down. You really don't see the flow of anybody coming down at first. Then when he looked up and just looked at Larry Visnick, only one man he really was looking at, he slipped at that time. So it was a field condition. By the time he got set again, he didn't know where Visnick was, and he threw the ball away.
It's going to be a 3rd and 25. I think it's lined up offside. You can almost see it from here, right down the middle. The left tackle was lined up offsides. He was in that dead zone, and his hand was an encroachment, and it's 5 yards called against the Tigers of Cleveland Heights. Cleveland Heights now has 3 penalties.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense over here.
At 25 yards. That will make it 3rd and 20. Graham is going to take to the air. He's got the back to his wind, or the wind to his back. That's one of those nights. This is Visnick. He gets to the outside. He can break it. He's being chased, and he's dragged down by Chuck Story, the linebacker, who demonstrated the great speed. The senior actually caught up with Visnick. And Visnick has got good speed himself.
Real good speed. The tailback did a job on the inside, as we can see. First of all, and we talk about field condition, but this play call, you can see the pull there by August coming off the weak side to first string Larry Visnick. Then Larry does on his own to the outside. Kevin Keating, number 85, is a fine blocker downfield that takes care of a deep man and allows Larry Visnick to pick up the extra yards.
So Story and Howard were chasing. Story brought him down. So it's big first down for the Rangers. There it goes up the middle. And Dave Craddock, the fullback, on 174 carries. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's got 9 touchdowns. He's had 6 100-yard games. Dave Craddock, an honor student, all LEL last year. On the tackle was Bauman and Gamble for Cleveland Heights. And another first down for Lakewood. Line of scrimmage for Lakewood on this one is the 7. And that 12 men on the field really hurt Cleveland Heights. There goes the fullback, and did he take a shot for Visnick? Boy, he was met really hard. I think on that stop was either Burrows or Thomas. And they've got an injured player down for Lakewood.
Reverse spin by quarterback Graham, giving off the 45, Larry Visnick, from the tailback spot, going off the right guard on the far side. Look at the hit right in here, and the drive back on the play. We talked about the Cleveland Heights defense. The Tigers have been strong down in here, and they move him back down on the play. Player down. The officials call a timeout.
I thought maybe Visnick would be down, or Craddock would be down, but he's not. He's back in the huddle. But he took a hit. 5'9", 200 pounds. That's number 77, who is the outside tackle, is Brian McCall, 208-pound junior, 6'1", and he's walking off the field under his own power. That's good to hear and see. Good-sized crowd here, considering the elements. It's chilly, cold. Honor student carries a 3.6 average, lettered last year for the Rangers of Lakewood. Brian McCall. It'll be a 2nd and 6 for the Rangers. The ball on the 6. They can get a first down without punching it in. Pitch back goes to Visnick, and he is bristled down by Brian Hurl, a junior. Correction, that was Craddock. Make that Craddock on the carry.
Quick pitch to the outside, going out far is the fullback, in this case the up back. To the right side is Craddock, and that is number 50 coming across. Mike mentioned Brian Harrell, number 50, putting a good step. 2 good defensive plays in a row by the Tigers. You can see that defense we talked about with their 6-man front.
And that was a 5-yard loss all the way back to the 11. So it's going to be a 3rd. Big 3rd down for the Rangers. Wanting to throw. Gets it out, almost intercepted, and it's going to be a flag interference intended for Joe Cook, the junior end, who plays split end for the Rangers. And there's a flag. Let's see who's in the interference. Mike Randall was there.
The short
look at the
rollout.
slipping. Look at the field conditions,
Oh, look
Brian.
at his blocker. That's what happened right there. His blocker went down, but good footwork by Ed Graham. Now he wants to go over to his left, but the last minute he sees Joe Cook open in the end zone to the right side. He fires back from the heel. Cook is behind the defender. In this case, defender comes over. We can't see the exact shot of it. The official threw a flag.
And apparently it's going to be against the Rangers. You also saw the blocker for Lakewood try slipping, but then you saw Jimmy Thomas.
Offensive pass interference over here, and it lost it down.
And he slipped down too. You heard the call. Pass interference on the offense. 3:15 remaining in this scoreless first quarter. And it's going to be a 4th and 27. They're at the 26-yard line. Fourth, Bisnick, and this is Antonio in motion. Bisnick is split here to the near side. Get him wide open was August, and Ed August just could not reach the ball. And again, of course, that's a timing kind of play. He started to cut across, and that footing just did not allow him to get to the ball.
Well, that must have a tremendous draw on it with the wide side, Bisnick out, then the man in motion. They overplay the man in motion on the wide side of the field. That time, August coming out of the right side. Again, almost a completed pass.
Okay.
Ball goes over on downs, and it belongs now to the Tigers of Cleveland Heights. In the first possession, march down the field. They're not able to put it in the end zone. This is pitch back. This is to Brian Skipwith, and he's brought down hard. The referees have got a tough job in this ball game.
Well, they're going to keep busy tonight, and they have to. And the referee is Tom Hofford in the white hat, Sam Palumbo, the umpire, Mike Nichols, the lineman, and Doug Roof, the field judge.
There's a 2-yard loss for the Tigers. That'll make it a 2nd and 12. Coming up to 2:40 remaining first quarter. Still no score. But I am impressed about the way both teams have been able to run with the ball under the field conditions that we have here. And fake. Pitch out. Almost. Intended receiver was number 40, Brian Bullock, in one of the ends. And Charles DeBulbo putting a lot of pressure on Lee Weingart. Lee Weingart, 6'1", 175-pound honor student. Like his father, very involved in the activities athletically of Cleveland Heights. He's the one that led that $1 million drive for the track and fields at the high school and the junior high. Outstanding student. Straight 4-point average. 3rd and 12. Skipworth trying to get outside, cannot do it. In that muddy part of the field. Dubois in on the stop, but his feet were moving, but he wasn't.
Skipworth coming out now. You can see the guard pulling on the play. It's a pitch from the quarterback to the outside. He's coming up near, putting the ball away. The arm's going to come out, trying to evade the blocker to the outside if he can get there, but they lose the footing on the inside. Nice stiff arm in here. He shielded himself with the left arm, but he did go down.
So back to live action. It's going to be a punting situation for the Tigers. Again, it's going to be into the wind, high kick, and it's not going to get much yardage. And they say it went out of bounds at the 38, let's call it. So again, that's the second punt. The first one went 6. This one went 14 yards, that is. So Cleveland Heights will take over in good field position in Heights territory. At their 38, they'll spot it. Bootleg. This is Graham with the ball. Let's it fly. Pulling this one in is Bleddock, the fullback. He bounds it into people and gets inside the 5. He put his shoulder down and just drove James Howard back at least 3 yards. What a punishing runner.
They ate that territory up in a hurry. Ed Graham on a play, and they're not playing conservative ball. They're going for it, and Graham field general on the play. Look at the draws on this now. The quarterback comes back. He fakes a 45. Visnick up the middle. He fakes his halfback coming across. He also goes on a bootleg. Decides to throw it this time with Craddock, who went up through the middle. It's always hard to pick that back out. A completed one right down in there.
First and goal from the 4. This is the fullback again, Braddock. Straight up the middle, and they'll spot it at maybe the 1. And they've got some footing at that end of the field, as you would assume. They've got about a yard to go. 55 seconds to go in this quarter. Braddock, touchdown! His 10th touchdown of the season. And the senior fullback puts Lakewood on the scoreboard. Look at that line charge out. And almost a delay in there. Braddock is able to just charge through because a great job by the offensive line from Lakewood. The clock has stopped. 51 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Lakewood leads it now 6-0. As Dave Craddock takes congratulations of his teammates. Trying for the point after will be Mike Mitchell. It's up, as you see, right splitting the uprights. And fans right below us very happy with this one. The loyal fans here of Lakewood. Team is leading now 6-7-0. And at stake, as I mentioned, is the LEL championship. There you see that line charging out. Then you see Dave Braddock just putting his head down, just charging right in, and carrying 200 pounds on a 5'9" frame. And after that bad punt, only took 3 plays in less than a minute.
38 yards, the big one being the pass play.
And trying to keep warm is Mike Mitchell. There's your deep end. Number 40 is Bullock. Number 10 is Randall. Randall on the left. I may inadvertently said it was Dave Braddock. It's Dave Craddock. Kicker always has the cleanest uniform in the team, doesn't he?
He should have.
Over his head. It goes out of the end zone. And a flag is dropped. So let's see what the officials do with this one. It's going to be an offsides against Lakewood. So they'll have to kick it over again, I would assume.
Guys, you're off. Kick over again.
Clock now showing 51 seconds.
Offside on the kicking team.
Well, football players aren't used to this cold weather. It's been a great season for football. We haven't had really a bad weekend to speak of.
Not at all. And this is the worst one. And right now, the field is wet, but the weather outside, at least the rain isn't coming down. And it hasn't been hindering the throwing of the quarterbacks.
Teeing it up again will be Mike Mitchell. By the way, that slapping noise you hear in the background is a lean-to we had to make. We're opposite the press box to try and break the wind and the rain. So that's the slapping you hear. It's the plastic we've got covering this lean-to. And it's going to be covered, very wisely covered, at the 30-yard line. So Cleveland Heights will take over from that point. First down. You know, I can see in weather like this, you stop to think, well, you know, I don't want to pick it up and run with it. Just let it sit there, and the other team's going to jump on it and get the ball.
You can see the difference. The penalty made. The other one went in the end zone. No chance for the run back. Came out to 20 yards, so they got 10 more yards to operate on. Let's see if the offense can take advantage of it.
Well, you saw the field conditions. That was John Kime, whose brother was the quarterback last year. Now is playing at Mount Union, trying to clean off his cleats. First down for Cleveland Heights. This is Gamble, the fullback. Great running back. Also a super linebacker, but he gets close to another first down. Dave Tate on the stop, and it is a first down.
Like on this offensive set-off, they have through the left side is the power, and they give the fullback coming off to the right. Lakewood overshifted a little bit to their defensive right, enabling him to get over there, and there's so much room in it before the cornerback, Tate, number 43, come over and make the hit.
13 seconds, now 12, remaining first quarter. First down for Cleveland Heights. Again, fullback Craddock gets 3 yards where Steve Crotty brings him down. And time runs out, or correction, that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Lakewood 7 and Cleveland Heights nothing, and we'll be right back. Back to a windy Lakewood Stadium where Cleveland Heights has the ball, a 2nd and 6, and they're sitting on their own 43. If you've just joined us, it is a windy night here, about 25-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the north, which is to the right. And field conditions, as you can see, not very good. And there's the flag coming out of the north. One-guarded quarterback. Lets it go and completes it. No! I thought Calhoun had it, but another intended receiver, Steve Crotty, the junior, number 46, the nose guard, was right there. It'll be a 3rd and 6. We've just had 3 seconds gone of the second quarter. Lakewood leading it 7-0. And the hole apparently opened up, and Brian Skipwith picked up about 5 yards, where finally Paul Norman, the middle linebacker, along with help from his counterpart, John Massimiani, brought him down.
The short flanker to the right side. They just faked the fullback, gambled on a pitch, and come back to Brian Skipworth, 34, on the inside trap play, picked up his yards.
And Skipworth almost lost that ball.
Yeah, he almost did. We were looking, you could see it there.
4th and 2, and Cleveland Heights is going with it. And a screenplay. This is Brian Skipworth. And he gets a big first down as he gets to the 30-yard line of Lakewood, where Rick Benno, the Ranger, finally had to bring him down.
Like there's a flag on the play. The official down there threw the flag. We'll have to see what it is. They told him to hold the chains, hold the down markers till the officials get back to the referee, sort it out, and it looks like it's going to go against the offense to nullify the first down for Brian Skipwith.
I thought the line
right away.
Out.
I was looking for it here with the judge on the corner. There wasn't a flag at that point. It was a little bit later that they threw it.
Let's see what Lakewood feels they're going to have to do after they hit their official referee's call against Cleveland Heights. Let's see what Coach Dick Kirschbaum feels that his team's going to have to do against the running of a gamble and the Skipworth.
Flipping, 51 on the offense. 4th down. Was he out of bounds?
The changing teams. Let's pick that up a little later. There's going to be a punting situation for Cleveland Heights. Got a 4th and 6. Deep men will be Starkovic and Garreau. He's got the windows back this time and gets a good punt away.
Go!
And Starkovic gets tripped up, but there's another flag. 42-yard punt into the wind. There's Coach Kirschbaum.
We got a penalty, Coach. No, I'm telling you, I'm sick and tired of that. 25 pots.
Sick and tired of something.
24 green. Look at the strong. Let's look at the short side look first. Let's go. F5. Hey, Nick. Hold these.
Well, the officials are trying to straighten this out. Let's listen to the coach.
Hey, Potter.
I think they have it sorted out. Now they're talking to Cleveland Heights captain and giving him the choices that he can have at this point. He can take all the time he wants, but once he makes the decision, he must stick with it.
Well, it's against Lakewood. bringing the ball all the way back. So, well, they had a 4th and 6. It was a 5-yarder. They'll bring up a 4th and 1. The last time they had a 4th and 1, they went for it. Well, it is a 5-yarder.
Should be about 1.
Let's see what Cleveland Heights.
Signal on the returners. 4th down.
Illegal fair catch signal.
Okay.
Haven't seen that one in a long time.
That took so long to determine because you have a choice on something like that, which is a very difficult one. You can take it back here, or you can have a choice with the ball here and mark the penalty 5 yards. So
Apparently, the Rangers are going to go for it. See if they hand off to Gamble. And he gets the call, and he gets the first down. It's tough stopping a 180-pound fullback with that kind of a head of steam. Another outstanding all-around athlete is Clifton Gamble. Honor student, wrestling, track, averaging just over 5 yards per carry. And Gamble now has 5 carries and 23 yards. It's going to be an illegal motion procedure call against Cleveland Heights. And that was Clifton Gamble who started to make a move.
The same offensive set. They had the halfback on a short flank to the outside of Bullock, the end. That would be Brian Skipwith, number 34. And it was the same play they want to do with him coming around on the inside counter play. But the illegal procedure, the motion took place against the Tigers of Cleveland Heights. 5 yards.
And that is a total of 45 yards in penalties on 5 penalties.
Illegal motion, Heights. First down.
So that'll make it 1st and 15. 10-16 remaining in the half. 7-0 to score. Lakewood is leading it. Cleveland Heights has got a 1st and 15 with the ball on their 47. This one to Gamble again, and boy, is he stuck by Paul Norman, the linebacker. Boy, he could fill up that hole in a hurry. It's going to be a 2nd down now, and still 15. No gain on that carry for Gamble. Let's it go, and couldn't pull it in was Brian Bullock, the right end. One of the favorite targets for Lee Weingart. He's got 13 receptions and averages about 18 yards per catch for Cleveland Heights. First, as a matter of fact, Lee Weingart has got 2 great receivers also in Kelvin Calhoun. He's averaging about 13 yards and 19 receptions, 13 yards per catch, that is. Weingart's got a good arm. There's 15. Weingart on a screen pass. Nice tackle. That could have broke it open. That was Massimiani. So Weingart just turned around very, very quickly and got it to Calhoun.
You can see it going back here now. Weingart deep for the screen pass. Mike said there's 2 men going down deep. He just drops it over in the middle.
That's Skipwith.
Brian Skipwith, number 34, who came from the inside, picked it up. He knows how to run with that ball, but the defender came up and stopped him short.
So they got a 4th and 7, and they want to punt it. His window is back. Mike Bauman gets another good punt away. And it goes into the end zone very wisely. Starkovich lets it roll. That was a 45-yarder. Cleveland Heights will take it over from the 20, 1st down. If If anything has hurt both teams, it isn't certainly the field conditions, it's been the penalties.
Penalties for a quarter of football, quarter and a half, and way out of line.
Starkovich, the end split to the near side. And mixed up in the backfield. Craddock brought down by Story. Spot this one at the 22.
Mike Graham and Craddock actually collided on the play, but able to play to pick up some yardage was Brian McCullough, number 77. He just kept his block going, giving his fullback a chance to get some footing.
This is Antonio. He could go. He's got blocks in front of him. And is driven out of bounds. What a great job that was done by Larry Visnick to spring Antonio. He took his play, the defender from Cleveland Heights back at least 10 yards, stayed right on him. Maybe we can sketch it here in a replay.
You can see down the inside, and coming out with a good fake is Graham to hold it, just enough time for Antonio to go to the outside. Down in that corner you saw what Mike was talking about, Visnick, number 45, to enable him to go down. Antonio is moving down on the play to the outside, but down on that field they're talking about one of those yellow flags.
It negates a great run by Leighton Antonio. He averages over 10 yards per carry on 25 carriers. The fans below us don't like the call.
Michael, did you hear that call? It was an inadvertent whistle, and when it happens, it has to come back. Negated that long run by Antonio. Just one of those things that happen. They take away the yardage.
We have the original line scrimmage at the 22. They've got it at the 23. They'll get the down over again, but this is Craddock. He's down to 34. I said the 23. Now they had the ball close to the 30, and the original line of scrimmage on that run was the 22. They picked up 7 yards on that one. Well, they got a 2nd and 7 here. That's Antonio in motion. This is their fullback. Craddock gets across the 35 to about the 37, short of a first down by a couple of yards. He ran right into Lamont Thomas and Mike Holloway. Mike Holloway, a great defensive guard, number 80. He's got 21 solos and 24 assists. Timeout is being called by Cleveland Heights, and that's the story of the ball game. They'll have a 3rd and 3. We're in the 2nd quarter. You see, we're just about halfway through it. Lakewood's enjoying that 7-point lead. And again, the flag has been stopping the drive of both teams. That really wasn't a flag, an inadvertent whistle. Boy, that's got to drive you up a wall if you're a coach, isn't it?
Yeah, really, that's such a tough one. And usually that happens in an inside belly series or something where it's inside, where you're giving the fullback a couple times, then you fake to him, you take the ball back out, give it to a halfback, the official sees it, blows the whistle to protect the ball carrier. In this case, it was kind of a wide open play, and I don't know exactly where the inadvertent whistle took place, but he came on the inside counter, went to the far side. Normally you don't get a whistle on that, but there was an inadvertent whistle. The official came over, explained to the coach it doesn't help things. It brings back the long run, but they just have to regroup, get some stock up, and move again.
Well, you see they have a cleat cleaner down there. They're certainly going to need it here. You get that
they do.
Actually, it's going to be 33.
Remember when you played, they used to have mud cleats. They used to be about 3 inches. It was like walking on heels of some kind. And every year, for about every 5 years, the cleats got lower and lower because of knee injuries. And many youngsters just wear all-purpose shoes. But they do need some kind of cleats out there in the mud conditions tonight.
Well, there's a guy that's going to earn his letter tonight alone, isn't he?
Getting a workout.
Tell you what, you couldn't operate a high school football team without some good managers.
Takes so many people.
3rd and 3 now for the Rangers. And they're in the eye. This goes to their fullback, and he is stopped. Good defensive play by the Tigers, led by Mitchell and Holloway. Right up the middle. And Craddock couldn't find any room to move, so it'll bring up a punting situation for the Rangers. This will be the second punt for Mitchell. The deep men for Cleveland Heights will be Skipwith and Bullock. High kick. And it will take a bounce and come to rest at the 43. But did I see a flag?
Yes, there were two of them thrown immediately, actually before the ball was kicked. So we're going to have another one of those flags. It seems every time somebody goes back in punt formation, the yellow flag comes down.
Well, if that is against Cleveland Heights, it'll mean 5 yards, and that means a first down for Lakewood. We're talking to Lakewood. The offense goes back on the field. 71 is Rich Mayer, who's in because of the injured Rubus. 6'1", about 210 pounds, and he had, I think it was a shoulder injury. He's dressed, but Rich Mayer starting, a junior, and doing a good job.
First down. Illegal procedure over here. First down.
The ball is spotted at the 42-yard line. First down for Lakewood. And the fullback again, Dave Craddock. Again, footing has become a real problem. Jimmy Thomas in there in the stop again, of course, with Clifton Gamble, who's in about every stop. Clock is running. We're halfway through the second quarter. Lakewood's got a 7-point lead on this windy and cold November night. Last game of the regular season. Teams around the state. And this is Visnick. Visnick gets to about midfield. It'll be about 2 yards short of a first down, where Lamont Thomas and Brian Hurrell were able to bring him down.
The I formation with faking to the first back would be Craddock, who's been doing most of the running, this time giving off to Larry Visnick, coming down on the run, picking up some yards.
Well, he's averaged a little better than 9 yards per carry this season. Tonight's game, he's got 4 carries and 41 yards. And again, pitch back to Visnick. Gets the outside. It's a foot race. Being chased and brought down by James Howard as he gets inside the 10. Boy, talk about speed. The returning honor student and Letterman for Lakewood picks up big yardage and gives them another big first down inside the 10.
Taking advantage of the grass side of the field where there is some good footing now. Mike just mentioned the inside the field is so wet and muddy, so he's down on the sideline with pretty good footing, moving down there. But there's good speed coming up now. James Howard, number 22, in on the chase. Good speed, though. Visnick coming down in there, ready to roll.
Back to live action. They're going straight up the middle. They had the ball spotted at the 8. They get to about the 6 or 7, where Chuck Story is in on the stop. The ball carrier was the fullback, Craddock, and they'll spot it at the 7. Boy, amazing speed by James Howard, a junior, 5'9", 165 pounds. And Visnick must have had 4 or 5 yards on him, and he caught him. Second and goal. And trying the flanker around Antonio, and reading that beautifully was Thomas and Mitchell. Thomas, that right defensive end we featured on the opener of the show, and you're saying how important it is for that end to contain and never let him get outside. And Antonio had no place to go.
Now that's apparently the same play that he broke loose when he had the inadvertent whistle. It looked like the same play anyways, but this time, good defensive job can take away that good back.
It sure does. It's a loss all the way back to the 11. So it's a third and goal from the 11. Let's see if Graham wants to take to the air. He does. Oh, by himself. Oh, bounced off his head and just could not bring it in. It was right there, intended for Ed August. He was so alone, it was almost embarrassing.
3 times they've had this play. 3 times they've been open. They haven't been able to connect. This is the closest they've come on it. It was just laid out there by Ed Graham to Ed August. It looked like he had to bend a little bit with the shoulders, rounded off. But there it is. There's the ball. That tells it.
It hits his helmet, and he tries to come down with it, and nothing.
They'll come back with that as many times as it takes before Cleveland Heights makes the defensive adjustments in their defensive secondary. Ed August on that play. They start out with one man in the backfield. They have a flanker. The flanker moves out and man in motion on the play. It draws it. There's the rotation on it and leaves the tight end, or the weak side end in this case, wide open. Ed August.
Well, Cleveland Heights calls the timeout. They're going to have to do something to try and stop. Well, that's a little sea of mud. You can see it.
Of course, you have a kicker like Mike Mitchell, who's so strong and can do the job for you, which they would be trying to take care of.
I wonder if he'll kick into the wind, Brian. He's got the wind coming right at him.
That's the factor there. Or do we go back to a play to Ed August, or have they made the adjustment and we do something else? That's probably the two calls that they had to worry about.
Well, I think they figure it's worth getting another, going for another 6. Again, Antonio goes in motion. Open! Interception! What a great defensive play by Mike Randall. Or was that Thomas? Thomas. There's a flag on the play. I thought that was Randall on the interception.
While they're sorting out the flag, as you can see to the left of the screen, Graham goes back. Now he's just fighting to the pylon, to the inside, trying to drill it in there. They throw a crowd on the play, coming over and just going down with the ball, and the interception coming across and cradling it in. It looked like Randall from the corner. Hey, Mike, there was a penalty against Lakewood. Decline. Cleveland Heights should have that ball.
And they do. They bring it out to the 20. A big break for the Tigers. And it's going to be a blitz by the linebacker. That was Massimiani. Boy, it's the second one he's timed perfectly, and his Weingart takes 2 steps back. Massimiani's right in his face.
What timing on that play. I didn't know if he had timed it perfectly or not. He must have... Weingart saw 52 coming by. There wasn't a chance to do anything on the play. Wow, what a defensive gem.
Great 2-year starter. He, 2-year letterman, started last year. Honor student, 6 foot, 175-pound junior. John Massimiani. Trying to do it on the ground. They get across the 20 to about the 22. Crotty in on the stop. Skipwith, the ball carrier for Cleveland Heights. Lee Weingart, 6'1". He's got good size for a quarterback. He's thrown 3 TD passes this year. And amazingly, as many times as they put it up in the air, he's only had 7 interceptions.
I noticed that. He does throw a good pass. The left-hander gets back deep, has quick release.
2nd and 8. Weingart wants to take to the air. Rusher, southpaw, throws it, and overthrows. The intended receiver was number 40, his right end, Brian Bullock. And back with him was Skipwith, and Dave Tate was defending. That'll bring up 4th and 9, so the Tigers are going to have to kick away. It will be Mike Ballman standing inside his 10, who will be doing the punting with a wind to his back. And we've got Starkovic and Giroux back deep. Gets another beautiful high, long punt. Starkovic loses it, gets it back. Skipwith is not getting up. Starkovic. He just had the wind knocked out of him. You know, someone hits and jumps on top of you and that ball's underneath you and just another jam your ribs.
You can't do it. At least he's sitting up now. They're just telling him to wait there. They're checking it out. He wants to get up. Seems to be okay, and he's coming off without any problem.
.2:13 remaining in a half. Going to have halftime. We'll not have a halftime show for you. The band did perform beginning of the game because of the bad field conditions. A first down for Lakewood. And this is a bootleg again by Graham being chased. And just threw it away. A lot of pressure being put on by Brian Hurrell. Here comes Starkovic back in the lineup.
Like on this play, Graham goes through. You can see the fake to the inside. Then you can't see it, but there was a fake to the halfback coming out. There's a good defensive play now to drive him deep. This ball's in here. Now right here, he's in set again, and that's Mike Randall. Might have come up with another interception, but he lost his footing in going after the ball.
2nd and 10. Antonio goes in motion. And it's the fullback, Craddock. Nice hole! People slipping all over the place. And Craddock is driven out of bounds, but not until he gets close to midfield. Driving him out is Mike Randall. There's Visnick on the carry. Correction, make that Visnick.
Just speed in here now, and Larry Visnick working out the tailback spot. Moved to the inside, set it up there, even though Starkovic missed the block in the corner. Visnick went inside, juked in, went outside, and then went out of bounds.
And it was a first down for Lakewood. Down to 1:51 remaining in the half. Looks for his tight end, Ed August. A little too low. August comes out, and Kevin Keating will come in for Lakewood. That stops the clock. 1:47 remaining in a half. There's a correction. I've just been told that Lakewood then will march, even though the field is not in excellent condition, or they just may perform here at the side. We'll see. And of course, we'll have our scoreboard for you, so stay with us for the last scoreboard of the season. And this is Craddock, the fullback. He gets close to the 47, could be the 48. He'll spot it close to the 48. The 3rd and 7. Imagine they want to get a first down for more than one reason. They don't want to start punting it back to Cleveland Heights. Wide open. This is August. He gets a first down as he gets inside the 20. Mike Randall was there on a stop as usual with his buddy Chuck Story, the linebacker and the cornerback, doing a great job defensively.
This time you find Ed August out of the right side again. They are wide open. The man in motion went to the left, drew it away from him. This time they connected. August came down with it. They have their first down. They're moving.
And we're back to live action. A pass again. And he loses the ball out of bounds. Did not have control, they say. Pulling that one in was Starkovic, the split end. Mike Randall there with a good shot and knocked him out of bounds and knocked the ball away. And they said he did not have control. And the official had good mechanics on that one. He was right there.
He's right there. He had the best look at it.
2nd and 10. The ball on the 19. This is Visnick. Did all that on his own. He was almost caught in the backfield as the official stops the game. Timeout called by Lakewood, stopping the clock with just 50 seconds remaining in the half. They're leading at 7-0, but they're going to have a 3rd and let's call it a 7. They're kicking into the wind. Their line of scrimmage is going to be the 16. So 30-yard field goal. You try it at this point, although it's still only 3rd down. Try and get a little closer. And
we saw one of those last week on a 3rd down, so they had a chance to come back on the 4th down, and with the penalties and the fakes and the calls, a little bit of action, and that was in the closing seconds of the first half.
Well, the season comes to a close, except for next week. We'll be bringing you the Cleveland City Championship, but it's been a good football season. A lot of excitement, a lot of good football, a lot of parity in teams now. Conferences, everyone with good records and just tough football. But here we have a 3rd and 7 for Lakewood, sitting on the Cleveland Heights 16. Antonio goes in motion. Got 2 receivers that side of the field. Craddock's going to keep it. Or Graham, correction, make that Graham. And it looks like he's picked up a first down. 5th and Gamble. Forced him out of bounds. And it is a first down. Clock is stopped, 43 seconds. And so the Rangers will have it 1st and goal from the 8.
Graham to the outside. He looked down the field to see if he could throw it. And once he couldn't, he went down, tried to pick up the first down, which he did, and get out of bounds.
Visnick is wide to the left. Antonio is wide to the right. That's it. Graham, and no, in and out of the hands of his end. I think it's Starkovic. No, that was Keating, who backs up at tight end, split end, a junior, 5'9", 165. Just a magnificent athlete, baseball player. He's caught 11 passes so far this season. It's great to have a junior backing up your receivers like that. It's still going to be a 2nd and goal from the 7 with 38 seconds to go. Tried to get it out to his tailback, Larry Visnick. So that stops the clock with 35 seconds to go and brings up a 3rd and goal from the 7.
Time they had the one man in the backfield, Dave Craddock. On the left side was working Larry Visnick. He came in motion. There was one man isolated on him to watch Visnick. Quarterback Graham try to complete the pass and put a one-on-one situation. They just missed connection.
Well, the defense has got to hold him here. Overload to the right. Graham can try and cut it inside. And they stop him at about the 3. So Ed Graham, the senior, gets to the 3, and let's see if they'll try for a field goal on this one as timeout is called.
Here's the roll out to the right side. Boy, he's looking for somebody to throw that ball to. He stopped. He looks again. Right about now, he's determined he's going to have to run with it. He knows where that line is. Look at him trying to get the extra. Good defensive play by the Tigers.
Yeah, they will probably try for a field goal. If they do, Mike Mitchell will be going after it. As long as it's been 37 yards, although he has the wind to contend with, and it is to the right side of the goal post. And he'll spot it at the 7, go back to approximately the 10, which will give you a 20-yard field goal attempt, if they try it.
If they try, they're doing an awful lot of talking now from the coaches high atop their press box on the other side, and the warmth of their press box, giving it down to the coach, putting the play in, and the way they're talking to quarterback Ed Graham, it looks like right now they're going to go for it.
Well, Rebard have to come in. He's the holder, the backup quarterback, but they're going to go for it. Everybody here is on their feet. Whistles again. Apparently a timeout is called by Cleveland Heights. So that's the last timeout for Cleveland Heights. Lakewood, I think, still has one. And the ground game, well, it's been controlled by Lakewood. Craddock, leading ball carrier, 14 carries, a 56-yard leading ball carrier, though, is Visnick. He's had 2 great runs, one of 34 and one of 42. On 6 carries, he's got a total of 86 yards. Visnick coming into this has carried the ball 64 times and is averaging 9 yards a carry. He's doing a magnificent job. See, he's got 16. That would be about 14 yards per carry. Well, let's see if they want to stay with that. Let's see what the defense of Cleveland Heights is going to do under head coach Dave DiCarlo in his 9th year. Coach has been around a lot of schools and does a lot of good job of rebuilding some teams. An excellent coach, as is Dick Fishbaum in his 4th year at Lakewood. Antonio goes in motion. Graham looks, lets it go, and a flag. And it may be called against Ballman, pushing off against Antonio.
Or it may be the other way.
It may be the other way. My, look at the reaction there. Whew.
He doesn't believe it.
A lot of pressure being put on by Clifton Gamble against Graham. But there it is. It's called on Leighton Antonio.
See if we can see the action on the right side. But most of the action is taking place with Graham on the rollout, deciding now that corner was open for the run.
Interference and lost it down.
Offensive pass interference, so 33 definitely made the call. Now this is where it took place. Each one pointed to the other after the flag was thrown. We missed it.
Unless it was prior to it, I saw the push off by the defense, but he could have been interfered with before that. So bottom line is written. It means that Cleveland Heights will take over with a first down. And of course it's loss of down. So they'll take it over first down from the, this field is not marked, so we have to try and follow lines, and they're at the about 17. And the clock only has 19 seconds on it. And Weingard's just going to fall down. They'll kill the clock. And with the way Lakewood's been moving the ball, probably they're content to go in with just a 7-point deficit. That could have hurt them dearly if they'd have been down 2 touchdowns as time runs out. So the defense has had a number of big plays stopping. Well, that's our lean-to that the crew here built under the direction of Warren Mustick, our associate director. Some people call it a manger, but we call it a lean-to. Just great. Without it, we'd be dead with that rain. The boards would be all wet. We couldn't make more mistakes than we have done already. Just super. Thank you so much, Warren. You and the crew. Just great. Now, the score, it's 7-0 here at Lakewood Stadium. What's at stake is the LEL Championship. Let's see how Lakewood got that. They've had a great ground game going for them.
They have been moving that ball. There's 7 points. They scored with 51 seconds left in the first quarter. A 1 yard by Craddock, the fullback, going over. It was 6-0. Then Mitchell kicked the extra point for the 7-0 score. Here's some of the halftime stats. You look at the first downs, 11-4 with the Rangers on top, 153-48. Total of 215-56. Look at those penalties. Both teams been plagued by penalties in the first half. Only 1 turnover, and that was by Lakewood, which is just great for both of these ball clubs. Time of possession, very close, 12:20 to just a little over 11 minutes for Cleveland Heights. So the stats are pretty well even, except for the total yardage. Lakewood way on top.
Kicking off will be Mike Baumann. He's going to be kicking to Lakewood as the ball goes off the tee. The wind is blowing out of the north, which is from right to left. And it's coming at about 25 miles an hour. The one good thing that's happened is the temperature is about the same, and the rain has stopped. The field still is a mud bowl, but the players don't seem to be running that way. They're doing a great job. Back deep will be Starkovic, Antonio, and Garreau for Lakewood. Good kick. This is taken by Garreau. And still on his feet. Still on his feet. No whistle yet. Boy, he draws the crowd and is finally brought down at the 30, probably 34-yard line. Weingart brought him down. So Joe Garreau is back healthy again after missing 3 games, running back punts and kickoffs. He has been the backup to Visnick, a tailback position for the Rangers. Enjoying that 7-point lead as we start the second half. The unbalanced line will be to the right. In motion goes Antonio. This goes to their fullback, Dave Craddock. Craddock breaks across the 40 to about the 43-yard line, where Michael Mitchell brings him down. Mitchell, a senior, 5'8", 175. And he's playing the guard position in that 6'2" that Dave DiCarlo uses at Cleveland Heights. They'll spot the ball at the 38. That'll make it a 2nd and about 6. And the I formation. This goes to Visnick, and he's dropped for a loss of a couple of yards. This is a spot at the 37. That'll be a 1-yard loss. Holloway and Harrell and then the stop.
Mike, they worked out of the I formation that time, keeping the tail back in. They went behind the block of the left guard, pulling on the short side. Tom Romali, number 64, coming across and making the block, trying to spring Visnick loose.
Keating comes out, and in goes Scott Starkovic. It's split in, and there you have Antonio as a slot. In motion goes Visnick. Looking, completes this one to Starkovic. Enough for the first down as he gets to the 46. Just short passes that can hurt him.
This time to the right side on a short rollout, not much of a drop. It's exactly what Graham wanted, hitting number 80, and they've been alternating over there. That time was Starkovic.
And that's his first reception of this game. That's for 8 yards, enough for the first down. This goes to the fullback again, Craddock. Craddock gets close to midfield. A pickup of about 4 yards. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6. 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Lakewood's leading at 7-0. Starkovic and Keating switching that split end, and Keating also goes in for the tight end, Ed August. Got good hands, a junior at 5'9", 165. Ed Graham goes under center and pitch out. This one goes to Visnick, trying to go to the outside, and they stretch it out, and they stop him from a first down as he gets inside the 45, and chasing him down was Chuck Story, the senior linebacker for Cleveland Heights.
Just good speed on the play, allowing Visnick to get to the outside. He actually outran the interference. Romali again from the left side, pulling out and going to the far side, but the halfback on this play just burst out to the sideline and picked up a few yards.
Nose of the ball just touching the Cleveland Heights 45. It'll be a 3rd and long, about a yard. This goes to the fullback, and he cannot pick up that first down. Just gets inside the 45, but I think short of a first down.
First down play with Craddock just going up behind the right side, which they've been moving at least twice before in this quarter. That time a good defensive play. A couple of guys right in on the hit.
Good job by Chuck Story, the linebacker. He came right at the line of scrimmage and hit him after about a 1.5 yard gain. It is enough just by the nose of the ball. Big first down for the Rangers of Lakewood. It's amazing, really, the speed that Dave Craddock has for 200-pounder at 5'9". And amazing speed and agility for this big fullback. That's Visnick again going in motion. Pitch back goes to Craddock, tries to cut it inside, but a great defensive play by the defense. 2 of them came in. And I think that was Thomas who brought him down, that or Holloway.
Quick pitch to the outside, trying to swing on a short end with Craddock, and just coming across, it had to be Thomas and Harrell, 50 and 70, just getting deep as we talked about. They took the play away, took the run away from Craddock.
Well, as Harrell slid into him, he just got his arm out, tripped him up, and bring up a 2nd down. Loss on that one. Just throws it away, open man. Completes it, pulling that one in was Kevin Keating. And they'll spot it in at the 23. Kevin Keating doing a great job. That's his 2nd reception. Boy, the pressure put on Graham.
Like the pass play completed from Graham to Keating was a big play, but something we have to look at. Dave Craddock, number 34, on that play came off. He's over on the sideline.
They spotted at the 24. Senko is in. This is Visnick. Well, he just doesn't want to come down. Great balance. Finally, not hitting him down was Grady Burrows. Jimmy Thomas made the first hit, and Burrows came from behind. Burrows, an honor student, 6'2", 180, number 77. And they're going to spot this one right on the 15. And this will bring up a 2nd and short yard. Benno in at fullback. Benno gets the call, gets the first down. He gets close to the 10, and Lamont Thomas, the senior left tackle, stopped him. Look at that Visnick, 101 yards. This is going to be his 4th 100-yard game this season. Great athlete, senior, honor student, 3.5 average. This goes to the tailback, Rick Benno. Benio gets to the 10. Story along with Jimmy Thomas on the stop. Thomas, number 81, 29 solos and 23 assists this season. 2-yard pickup. That'll make it 2nd and 8. Ball on the 10. They started this drive on their own 34 as they took the kickoff. This is Visnick, and he gets close to the 5. Mike Bauman tripped him up. The junior safety. Mike Bauman, the number 11, just an outstanding hockey player. He pulled a hat trick 3 times last year.
Right?
Nothing else.
Okay, right now Graham is really doing a job at quarterback with his faking between handing off to Benno and faking in there to Visnick. Great job.
It's a 3rd and 4, a flag, and he throws it out of the end zone. Ed Graham, under a lot of pressure, just threw it away. Leighton Antonio, number 33, got 4.6 speed, sprinter in track. Good 3-point student, 10-yard average per carry.
These kids can really run. They roll up the yards, and you can see why they're going up the field. Pretty good shape. Now, this penalty is going to be against them. Was thrown by the official. That they throw it in there as always against the offensive ball club.
Talking to the defensive captain, Mike Randall. And they'll march off the 5-yarder. It'll take it back to about the 11.
Like the official there to put the ball down there. Sam Palumbo played his ball at Collinwood, Notre Dame, and with the Cleveland Browns. So we've got some great officials out here for this championship ball game in the Lake Erie League.
Lakewood will have a 3rd and 9. Ball on the 11. Graham lets it fly and pins that one for Ed August. Story has slipped down, and August is wide open, but again, a lot of pressure being put on Ed Graham. And again, the defense has bent, but they haven't cracked. It's about 5.5 minutes possession time. They took the kickoff, and we've got 6:24 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And Lakewood has had that ball. Timeout. Visnick went wide to the far side of the field, and Ed Graham wanted to call him back, but figured the time had run out. Rather than lose this opportunity with the ball on the 11, and they can have a 4th and 9. They can pick up a 1st down without putting it in. So timeout, and they have 2 timeouts left. And now Graham 4 for 14 for 89 yards through that 1 interception. But he's had a couple that could have been caught.
A lot of them on the short pass when they just missed either a little bit high, behind, some were dropped. Could have been a lot better completion average than that, but 89 yards, only the 1 intercepted. On the other side, Coach Dave DiCarlo talking to the official, and I don't know what he would be going over this time. We can't really tell from here. One time I know earlier in the game when they get that tight end on one side, and is he an end, or what is the formation to start with, making sure what his position is. That is something that they had talked about earlier in the first half. That's how that short side end was getting out loose. He wants the officials to make sure of the formation. But I think he's made his point there as he comes out and talks to his defense. He's still out on the field, but they have to give him full timeout. You have to take the timeout, Lakewood, so you might as well take a few more seconds to make sure you have the offensive play you want to go against that tough defensive Heights.
You know, the first half ended the same situation with Lakewood just sitting there trying to punch it in. The defense held. They took the ball on downs. The defense is going to have to try and hold again. They're only down by 7. He's got no good. Incomplete. August feels it was a completion. The official said no.
Ed August jumped up and thought he had the completion. One official came up and said no. Very emphatic about it. Okay, we'll get a chance to see, and Judge Ford, if we can see it in that corner, it was down deep. Quarterback Graham rolls out to the left. There's a block in here now. This is pretty much the same play that they had the interference call on right before the half. He has Leighton Antonio in the corner, also Ed August. He elects this time to go to August, number 87. Let's see if we can find it in here.
Well, his hands are down. Who knows?
Pretty hard to tell on that. He gets up. He thinks it's there. The official was in good position. Immediately signaled no catch.
Well, Thomas and Gamble had a big hand. Oh, what a hit on that one. Coming straight up the middle. And he hit a Ranger and knocked him back about 3 or 4 yards. Brian Skipwith. Skipwith is a 185-pound senior. He's been playing hurt most of the season. He got hurt in the St. Ignatius game, which is his 3rd game of the season, and he's been playing hurt ever since. And I hate to see him totally healthy then.
Here's the look at the surge behind that line. Now that offensive line is moving out again for Cleveland Heights, and that defense has been on the field so much the offense hasn't had a chance to move the ball or has very good field position, but they see they can move when they have to. Like these teams going at it, of course, we mentioned at the top of the show, they're tied for first place in the Lake Erie League, but you have to mention that Shaker Heights ball club has had a great year. They're right up there. Shaker plays Valley Forge tomorrow night, so they're anxiously awaiting this ball game to see what develops.
Well, what was it? Last year, I guess all 3 were tied.
Yeah.
They're tri-champs, Shaker Heights, Lakewood, and Cleveland Heights. Well, we're going to have some teams in the playoffs, it looks like, Brian. Brecksville certainly is going to be in it. Maybe even Berea.
Brecksville looks good. And this week, Berea came up, and we're talking Division I. Menor Lake Catholic is in number 1 position. Berea number 2, and Shaker we just talked about from the LEL in number 3. Division II, Brecksville's right up there. Westlake going strong. Pontiac dropped down to 3 position. So there's a couple of our area teams in there.
I'm sorry we can't tell you the injured ball player. Number 78 is not listed on the Cleveland Heights roster. Seems to be limping off on a very tender left leg, knee, or ankle. The Weingarts center. Loose ball and covered by Lakewood. Covering that one was number 36, the linebacker, Paul Norman. He's one of the returning starters on defense for the Rangers, and boy, did he react.
This is the break that the Rangers have been waiting for. The handoff's number 34, Brian Skipwith, going off the right side. A good surge by the offensive line. He's moving in, looking like he's in good shape here. All of a sudden, that ball flies out with authority. The good hit in there, and the defender comes in. Lakewood, the Rangers ready to go again, knocking on the goal.
Well, they get a good field position. This is going to be Visnick. He gets to the outside, scores! Visnick now with his 11th touchdown of the season. And that was a big one. With the clock showing 5:29 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And that gives Lakewood a 13-point lead. Here comes the honor student, trackman, and I imagine he is a sprinter. Is his well over 100 yards now and his 11th touchdown of the season. Does he have that outside speed?
He sprinted on this play, went into the inside, and then moved to the outside all the way. You can see the exhilaration. Starkovic on the side went up about 5 foot in the air. But his halfback, Larry Visnick, 6 more points on the board.
Getting ready to try for the point after will be Mike Mitchell. Mike Rebar, the junior quarterback. Backup quarterback, blocked! Ball coming in quick was Mike Randall. What a great leap. Now they had 3 Tigers in there. Any one of the 3 could have blocked it, but sacrificing his body was Randall. And so it stands at 13-0. Lakewood with a 13-point lead. Got to give credit where credit is due. The fact that Lakewood is able to capitalize on mistakes. That first touchdown they got was based upon a penalty and gave them the first down, and they finally moved down the field.
times they did move down the field with the good offensive Cleveland Heights, as they would get down in there, would hold on the fourth down plays. Lakewood didn't have any success, but just keeping a team back there in the field conditions the way they are, you wait for something to happen. It did happen, but it took a good tackle. Ball came out on a fumble. Lakewood came up with it immediately. Then the halfback took it over the left side and did the scoring.
Yeah, Mitchell trying to find a spot where he can set that ball up and get some good footing. The deep men you're looking at are Brian Bullock and Mike Randall. Randall to the right of your screen. Good-sized crowd here on this very cold and chilly night. It started off with rain, but when the LEL Championship is at stake, they're willing to come out. The ball, you saw the wind take it. That was a free ball, but it was covered by Cleveland Heights. That thing started in the air and just died. That wind coming out of the north at about 25 miles an hour. When you get up that high, it just stops the ball and it dropped dead. They're going to spot this one at the 33, 32, let's call it. First down, Cleveland Heights. They're down. Let's see if Lee Weingart, who's got the wind to his back for the next 5 minutes and 20 seconds, takes to the air. This is Gamble. Boy, does he draw a crowd. And the official goes down. The first hit on that was by Scott Price. And then the rest of the Rangers came in on horseback, it's looked like.
That's right, the Ranger defense had been strong all night, but after that second touchdown, they have renewed interest in their defense because that time they're really playing aggressive defensive ball.
2-yard pickup by Campbell. It'll make it 2nd and 8. The ball on their own 34. Back to the eye. This goes to Skipwith. He tries to go off the right side. Nothing there. Boy, the good defense is really pumped up. I think they're starting to taste that championship. Charles Dubois led that charge, the outside left linebacker. Junior, 6'1", 175. Amazingly, they've got 3 junior linebackers for Lakewood. Dubois, Norman, and Kavesdi. Kavesdi normally is a cornerback, was playing in place of Mark Rafus. Messimiani, I'm sorry, Norman is a senior, Messimiani is a junior. Weingart got an open man. In and out of it, hits his hands, hits his jersey, and out of ball down, Brian Bullock. I guess he was shocked he was that open.
Well, he was open. He came across from the right side, and we'll be able to see this. Lee Weingart, good left-handed quarterback, goes back. There's a nice fake in here to Clifton Gamble. He's been running the ball. It holds the defensive team somewhat. He has to now go to his rollout, but it is to his left side with his strength with his arm. He's coming across now as Brian Bullock, who's come across the field. He's laid out there perfectly from the quarterback to the end. Brian just couldn't hold on to that wet ball. They lost it with a 4th down coming up.
And they're going to punt. That's Mike Bauman. But the wind to his back, he'll get a long one. Starkovic tries to cut outside and upended hard at the 30-yard line. That was John Nelson on that stop. That was a 41-yard punt by Bauman. Well, now the defense is going to have to tighten down here. They can't afford to give much more.
We're getting a chance now. This is a quarterback. He's faking to Gamble in here. Look what happens. It's a good fake, but look at the hit he takes. He does hold that linebacker coming across. Good faking between the quarterback and the fullback.
First down for Lakewood. They give this one to Visnick. And he is dropped for a couple of yard loss. Hitting him was Holloway, right defensive guard, who is one of the leading tacklers with 21 solos and 24 assists this season. It's an all-senior front line with the exception of Brian Harrell, who is the left defensive end. This one I think that was Bisnick on the carry. No correction on that. This is an awful dirty. That was Steve Crotty. Steve Crotty. Yep, that was Karate. He normally plays the nose guard defensively. So the Kirschbaum using a lot of players. On the draw play, this one to Benno. Benno gets close to a first down. Let's see where they spot it. Chuck Story there in the stop. If they get across the 40, it looks like a first down. So they say his knee touched at the 38. So that'll bring up a 4th and a couple, which means that the Rangers are going to have to kick, and that'll be Mitchell going back to punt. One single receiver, and I think that is going to be Bullock. Low kick. It takes a Lakewood roll and will die at the old Cleveland Heights 40, just shy of the 45. So good field position for the Tigers after that 17-yard kick.
Coaches on the other side of the field now. This quarter is starting to wind down. They have to get some points on the board. Be very cautious about it. They have pretty good field position. Quarterback Lee Weingart's going to put that ball in the air.
Fisher spotted at the 44. First down for the Tigers. They're going to come looking for a blitz. And they didn't snap it. The blitz was by Massimiani.
Headsy ball playing by Lee Weingart, the quarterback. He could see. He got stunned before by Massimiani coming across. He timed his count. He changed his cadence. He created that good quarterback job in there by Weingart.
Well, apparently they're going to say that Weingart moved and drew him off.
Okay, he changed the count and the cadence, and I was watching the penalty.
The offense.
And that's what happens, I guess. I get carried away because of the play of the quarterback. But when he saw that happen, I really thought that was great. But he threw his offensive team off, and they got 5 yards. Too bad.
You old quarterbacks never die.
I just loved it. I just loved the way he was timing it, the play.
Quick snap. Open man. And this is Skipwith, who gets back to about the 47, where John Massimiani, along with help from Dave Tate, brought him down. Skipwith now with 11 carries.
He fakes to number 34, Brian Skipwith, and then he just goes through the line. He has to be picked up. It's hard to pick a man out of the backfield. He gets picked up, and quarterback completes the play. Linebacker coming across, Massimiani, number 52, on the stop.
I'd like to get it into his hands. He's a great open field runner. Completes it! Great catch by Kelvin Calhoun, the leading receiver for the Tigers. Tate and Mazzio are there to stop him. But you know what happened? Defensively was Starkovic, and I thought he had an interception, and all of a sudden Calhoun pulled it in.
Calhoun goes 6'4", 220 pounds. That ball's thrown high enough. Boy, he went up for it because it looked like it was going to be intercepted by the deep safety. Picked it up, first down on the play. Kelvin Calhoun, number 85, 2 completed passes in a row by quarterback Lee Weingart.
And so Cleveland Heights wants to take advantage of this field position. They're sitting at the 29 of Lakewood, and out comes Coach DiCarlo. They've got a first down, and they're getting into the drier end of the field. So that means that maybe Skipwith out of the tailback can do a good job.
Also, with 14 seconds, they're fighting the clock as far as the wind conditions. They changed somewhat in the fourth quarter, but now is the time to put the ball in the air.
And the rain just starting up very lightly, and the wind starting to kick up. Amazingly, a well-played ball game considering the elements. Skipwith now with 10 carries. He's got 38 yards. He's got 1 reception. That was the last one he just picked up. And Weingart is 3 for 8, 41 yards. But Graham has got 15 passes, 4 completions, but he's got 89 yards, and they came at the opportune times. And a first down now for Cleveland Heights. Calhoun again And right, that big target sitting up there at 6'4", 220, as Brian mentioned. And Rick Benno at 5'11", they're trying to defend. And Calhoun turns around and it was right there as time runs out. That ends the first quarter, with the third quarter with a score. Lakewood 13, Cleveland Heights nothing. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lakewood Stadium, where the Tigers of Cleveland Heights have a 2nd and 1 with the ball sitting on the 20-yard line. And knocked down. Good hit by Mark Rafus, who just came in the game as a linebacker, replacing Mark Kovesny. Rafus has been injured, but they want that tough linebacking core in there now. Goes incompleted. That'll make it 3rd and 1. Line of scrimmage still the Lakewood 20. This is almost a must situation for the Tigers. This close, they've got to come away with something. And first down for Weingart on the quarterback keeper. And that gets him inside the 20 to about the 17. Just 10 seconds gone. Fourth quarter. Who's just joined us. It's been a windy, well-played ball game on a muddy field, but Lakewood is enjoying a 13-point lead with only 11 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the 1982 or 83-84 football season. Goes a big fallback, Clifton Gamble, and he pounds off that right side and gets close to the 15.
Like at the end of 3 quarters, Lakewood's had the ball for 55 plays, 216 yards rushing, 89 in the air for their 305 yards, 20 minutes and 15 seconds. The Tigers of Heights had 36 plays, 56 on the ground, 49 in the air now for 105 in their 15 minutes and 45 seconds of playing with the ball.
Here they've got a 2nd and 7. Open man. This is Calhoun. And he's a handful to bring down. He's driven out near the 10. Driving him out was Mark Rafus, the honor student linebacker. He's 5'10", 5'11", 170, and bringing down 6'4", 220. Calvin Calhoun, who coming into this game had 19 receptions, averaging just under 13 yards per catch. They'll spot the ball here at the 11. They'll bring up a 3rd and 4. Big 3rd down play. Of course, it's in 4 down territory, but this is the big one. They go to fullback again. Clifton Gamble, and it looks like he has the first down. Official right there holding the ball down. Get just inside the 10, and nope, it's a little short. Maybe the length of the football. Well, the last time they gave it to Weingart. But Gamble at 180 gets a lot of power out of those legs. Just a great all-around athlete. Three-sport man, honor student in the classroom. Weingart takes it. It looks like he has it. Stop the clock while they unpile with 9.5 minutes to go in the game. That looks like they're going to want the change. No, they said they didn't. Well, they're going to call out the change no matter what happens.
They have to call them out.
I was going to say, I was looking at the ball players, and they say they didn't make it, but in high school fields, those lines are not always true.
They have to call it out every time.
It's a big play. By golly, it's way off. The defense for the Rangers has held. Well, very disheartening outcome of a great drive for Cleveland Heights. And with only a yard to go, they were not able to pick it up, and the ball is turned over to Lakewood, and they'll get it at about the 9. Well, this is ball control time for the Rangers. They've got the running backs to do it. This goes to the fullback. He comes off that right side, gets across the 10, maybe to 11 or 12. He runs into Thomas, number 70. That was Rick Benno, who is in replacing Craddock at fullback. Number 85 comes in with a play from Dick Kirschbaum, Kevin Keating, junior end. He and Scott Starkovic bring in the plays, and both of them are juniors. This goes to Visnick. He gets it. And he gets a big first down as he gets to about the 25. Buck should make that the 30. Mike Randall again had to chase him down. Between Randall and Story, they're always chasing people down that backfield. They got great foot speed.
Randall's had a good defensive ball game with the interceptions, coming over, knocking down passes, making a couple of tackles just like that time against Larry Visnick on the long run.
And that's 138 yards for Visnick on 13 carries. This goes to the fullback. This is Benno. Benno stripped up as he crosses the 35. And they'll spot it about the 39. Clifton Gamble again in on the stop. He's had a great defensive game as well as a good job, doing a good job carrying the ball as a fullback. Nice move.
You can see it here. He does have the moves. Gets a chance, Mike mentioned, to play a little bit of offense. He's that great defensive ball player they've had all year for the Rangers.
He's got good size, 5'11", 180. They'll bring out the chains, stopping the clock with 7:31 remaining. Lakewood enjoying a 13-point lead. First down. And the rain coming down just a little harder now. And that wind certainly hasn't let up at all. Goes to Visnick, and Visnick picks up about 5 yards on that one. Again, Micah Mitchell on the stop. Ball just shy of Lakewood's 45. Well, look at those statistics. 15-yard touchdown run, 143 yards.
Wow. What a way to finish your high school career.
He gets the call again. Oh! Boy, he met a crowd that time. They just closed up that hole. Leading in on that one is Thomas. Also, Harrell there put a real hit on him. Gamble was there. And I'll tell you, you've got to give credit to this Cleveland Heights defense. You're going against a team that averages 30.6 points per ball game. And we have but 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter, and they've held them to 13. Here goes to the fullback. That looks... Boy, that leg drive on that. That was Visnick, who's in the fullback position.
Straight handoff play to Visnick, having a great night, moving to the left side. Right here, he stopped. Look at the drive, just moving. Just won't go down, and he doesn't have that good a footing underneath, but he does have the body strength.
He carried Gamble, Story, and Howard with him for about 3 yards. And another first down. This is Visnick and a flag. As Visnick tries to get outside, picks up about 7 yards, but Chuck Story on the stop. Let's see what the flag represents. It looks like it's going to be illegal procedure against Lakewood.
He's faking to the left, coming back to the right, a little bit different this time rather than a straight handoff to the halfback.
First and 15 for the Rangers. Boy, what a backfield.
Procedure on the offense. First down.
Antonio, Braddock, Visnick, and they're all seniors, along with Ed Graham, the quarterback. Now, Graham's had 500-yard games passing.
He has just had a great year passing. He's up there, and you get over 1,000 yards in passing, you're quite a quarterback.
They give it to Visnick again. He just hates to come down, doesn't he? I'm amazed how he can keep those legs churning and keep that momentum going with the kind of field conditions we have here.
Conditions he has, the time in the game, and he's carried that ball now 17 times for 151 yards, and he still has the stamina and drive.
Compared to only 67 yards total on the ground now for Cleveland Heights. It's going to be a 2nd and 15. Lets it fly and pins this one for Benno. The senior fullback replacing Dave Craddock. They did not see Craddock come off the field any pain or anything. He just has not gotten back in the ball game. Certainly didn't see him get hurt. You'll miss a driving ball player like that. They bring up a 3rd and 15.
Let's worry about Shaker's game tomorrow. I don't see about any of it.
Another flag on a draw play. Benno gets to the outside and is going to be, I think, shy of a first down. That was Mike Bauman. The safety brought him down. And apparently it's going to be called against Lakewood.
Looks like it will be. We get a chance to see here. It's the rollout of quarterback Graham, and the halfback just stays, and he takes the draw on the deep position to the left side, to the right side, and comes back left, and this time it's Rick Benno on the play, but a flag will take care of it. And again, a penalty against the offense of the Rangers from Lakewood.
And that is now 9 flags against the Rangers for a total of 90 yards.
3rd down, inbound.
My addition's a little off. It's 70 yards total. Get the play over again, but it's going to be 3rd and 20. And of course now the clock is the Rangers' ally. It's showing 4:15 in running, and now a timeout stopping the clock by Lakewood. Cleveland Heights has 6 penalties, and that's for 50 yards, and I think they only had 1 penalty in this half, a 5-yarder, but against 3 for 15 yards in this half against Lakewood. But Brian, the season is over, and I guess that's the first thing you do when you start off the heck of the playoffs. Just go for the conference championship, and most of them have been settled. This is one that has not been.
This is one they have to wait till this game and tomorrow night. But in the Senate, Glenville has their North Senate title, the first one, and John Adams, the king of the South, although with Adams losing to Marshall yesterday, Kennedy's right up there, but John Adams will represent the South Senate. Brush is up there. Looks like they're going to win their championship. They have to get by their ball game tonight, but at least they've clinched the tie under Coach Bill Kingzett.
His first year coming back, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, JoJo's over there coaching Trevisano again, Schukert. They have veteran staff. Must be having a lot of fun out there with Brush Ball Club.
Here's a 3rd and 20. Graham telling Antonio to get wider. Pressure goes deep for Antonio and way overthrown by about 5 yards. I'll tell you, it's staying step for step with him was Mike Randall. And Randall's got great speed. Antonio is, as I mentioned, it runs about a 4.640. So a punting situation for the Rangers. That will be Mitchell, and the lone deep man will be Brian Bullock. He gets it to about the 25. He just waits to be brought down. That was a 37-yard kick for Mitchell with the wind to his back. His first one, though, was a boomer, something like 65 yards. And since then, he has with the wind to his back is doing very, very well. But then when you're kicking into that wind, he's had a couple that would get up there and just be flying, and he's dived like a shot duck.
Come on, doggy!
Weingart, screen pass, gets it out, and Skipwith just could not hang on.
Mike, we're talking to Coach Kirschbaum about this great defense of Lakewood and what a surprise it's been and how strong they've been. We asked him what did he really appreciate of the defensive ball club this year.
Well, I think, Brian, the thing that we've been most pleased with is how they've pursued to the ball as a unit. We felt that we needed to do that. We don't have any real big people in there. And the ability for them to get to the football as a unit has been really a plus for us.
Well, they do gang tackle. You've got to admit that.
They do
They've done
a
a good job. And Skipwith, again, could not hang on to the ball, although we've got to say that it's slightly behind him, but just could not hang on. And now it's a 3rd and 10 with 3:39 remaining in the game. And it looks like Lakewood is going to be the LEL champion. Cleveland Heights, big 3rd down play and down by 13. This is on a counter play, picked up a few yards, but not enough for a 1st down, so it means that the Tigers of Cleveland Heights are going to have to kick it away. We want to thank Dave DiCarlo and his entire staff and everyone at Cleveland Heights for their cooperation. It's great to be able to give the young men a great opportunity to be on television, and their defense has done a good job against a very high-scoring Rangers of Lakewood. And we got Garreau, and that's all the time that remains, back deep. They're going for a block, and it's going to cost the Rangers 5 yards. It still will not be enough for a 1st down. And they're blitzing here. They're coming for the block.
Well, you can tell out there by the white pants that they have a lot of new people on defense. And with the confusion out there against the offensive team, the kicking team.
Well, I'll tell you what,
5
Brian.
yards.
I'm glad my record is intact. I haven't called one right yet tonight.
Well, there was just a lot of commotion on that particular play, and they called it against the offense.
Don't touch the ball to hear my whistle.
You can see all the new ball players in there just moving around in positions.
Well, looks like Lakewood will have good field position because Mike Baumer is going to be kicking into the wind. It's a good low kick. It'll take a roll, and they'll let it roll, but it dies at about the 42. That was a 27-yarder. Look at the 45-yard line, and there is our lean-to that we're working out of, built by the crew here. We're going to have power on the far side of the field, so we set up here with the rain. Ron Mostick and the cameraman and crew, the production crew, just put this thing together to protect the equipment. I want to tell you, this is a godsend with a night like this.
Thank goodness.
Of course, they have to protect our spotter. It's in their contract, as well as our statistician. Keep on laying it off to Larry Fitstick. He goes out the right side, doesn't pick up any yardage, and now Keating comes in the lineup. Out comes Benno. Out comes Starkovic. And Steve Crotty, number 46, will go in. He'll go in at fullback, replacing Benno. This is their 3rd fullback. Also want to thank Dick Kirschbaum and his staff. He took the athletic director here, field crew. This was a fine job, great cooperation, and thank him so very much. Well, Vistic just tough time bringing that young man down. He gets close to the 40, which was, I'll say, up to about the 42. As the clock is winding down to a minute and a half remaining in the game. We'll have one more high school football game championship for you, and that'll be next Friday night. And we'll take a respite until wrestling and basketball season starts, which will be about the first of the year for us. This is Benno. Benno gets a first down as he gets inside the 35. Benno now with 6 carries and 27 yards.
Shows that he can run with that ball when he gets the opportunity, and he's getting it tonight with Dave Craddock out with seemed to be a possible leg injury. They've had Benno, they had Cinco in there for one play, and a couple other men in the offensive backfield.
Well, it's a very active coaching group down on the Lakewood side. They've just won themselves a LEL championship. First down, and they can burn out the clock here. Give his hand at the fullback. Let him pound up the middle. I think that was Crotty. And temper is starting to flare. And a flag is thrown in what we saw. That flag, that'll stop the clock with 29 seconds remaining. And out comes Crotty. Kirschbaum gets to him. The game is won. Roddy just the nose tackle. Junior, 5'8", 194 pounds. Dick has got a lot of ball players coming back next year. Of course, you're going to lose that magnificent backfield, Antonio, Craddock, and Visnick. And Ed Graham, but he's got some good returning ball players.
That's some good. They've been able to get into ball games this year because they've been, of course, having a good ball club. They had a lot of the underclassmen have been getting in.
And we're going on a snare.
And Craddock, it looks like he's come back in the ball game. At fullback. And just going down with the ball, Ed Graham will kill the clock. And 34 is back in. Dave Craddock just in there to protect his quarterback. His time runs out, and the 1983 LEL champions will be the Rangers of Lakewood. Congratulations to Dick Kirschbaum. And also to Cleveland Heights, who will come in second in this one, depending upon what happens at Shaker Heights tomorrow night. Based upon the field conditions and the weather, it's a magnificently played ball game.
It really was, and it was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Lakewood scored at 51 seconds left in the first quarter, and a 1-yard Craddock touchdown bursting up to the middle, a little bit to the right side. Mitchell went back, kicked the extra point. It was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. That held up into the second quarter, which both teams were moving that ball, although Lakewood on the ground much stronger. Cleveland Heights playing good defense. Lakewood would come down and get inside the 20 and get some third and fourth down situations, and that Tiger defense on the 6-man for Coach DeCarlo did a fine job down there, and they would hold. So it went into 7-0, and it could have gone anyway for the LEL title here with these two teams tied. Of course, Shakers, Mike mentioned, also tied and will be playing tomorrow night. Then a touchdown at 5:29 of the third quarter with Visnick on the run. A good run. He went to the outside tackle, moved around the end, showed his speed, and sprinted into the end zone. And the kick then was blocked. It was 13-0 with Heights still into the ball game. But then Lakewood controlled that ball. They went into ground control and kept moving along. It was 13-0 at the end of the third quarter. And that's how the score ended, with 13 on the board for the Rangers of Lakewood.
Well, amazingly, with the field conditions that they had, Visnick was able to pick up 155 yards, and this is his fourth 100-yard ball game this season. 19 carries, 155 yards, 18 carries, 62 yards for Craddock, and 6 carries for Benno for 27. Crotty, 11 yards on 2 carries, but on the ground, 276 yards with that kind of field condition. In the air, Graham was 4 of 17 for 89 yards and threw 1 interception. Craddock, Starkovic, August, and Keating each pulled 1 in. A total yard offensively, 365 for Lakewood. They had 19 first downs, and they were plagued by penalties. They had 85 yards on 10 penalties. Time of possession, 28-10.
Well,
That's ball control.
They kept it, and for Cleveland Heights in the 19 minutes and 50 seconds that they control that ball, Weingart lost some yardage in the quarterback sacks, 38 yards for Skip With on 10 carries, 29 for the fullback Gamble. 5 out of 13 for Weingart for 53 yards, for a total of 119 yards offensively for Cleveland Heights. Calhoun had 3 receptions, 1 for Skipwith, and a total of the long one in there was 24 yards for Calhoun when he came across the middle and picked up the first down in the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. 6 first downs for Cleveland Heights. They had a fumble and lost it. Punting, they punted 4 times, 5 times. Pretty good average the last 3, especially right in the beginning, some problems with it. And penalties, 6 of them for 50 yards, and they didn't put any points on the board.
Yep, that was a second last ball game of the season for us. We'll be back on next Friday night at 10 o'clock. And so from Lakewood, this is Mike Massey along with Brian Powers and our statistician Kent Geis and our spotter Denny Melnick and the entire sports crew. Good night all until next Friday at 10. The final score once again, Lakewood 13 and Cleveland Heights nothing.